founded by me and his former singer, Fat Evan, which explains the FELA 10. FELA 10 stands for FELA, Fat Evan, Little Alex. And that's where that whole thing came from. So now that it's on video, the explanation is there. People, please stop asking me. Evan lasted for about 2 or 3 shows, and then he just kind of disappeared from hanging out and going out in general. And that's when I got Chris on it, because at the time, like, we didn't have a PA system. We were like working at the bar across the street from my house. Like, it was really like just start off. We've been going to so many shows and we know so many people, and I've worked with so many bands that it just made sense. It was like, why am I not doing this? Like, why are we letting everybody else, like, you know, put all these shows together when we have the means and the methods and we're just not acting on it? And we basically went from shows where there's like 20, 30 kids showing up for like all local bands to the last show we did with Sworn Enemy. There was like 300 people in and out throughout the entire day. Like, we've really come a long way. We've only been around like a good 2.5, 3 years. This is our 3rd year in business. And, you know, hopefully we just keep doing this thing until we're as old as Stigma. First of all, 10 show. Didn't you play that one?
I think it was Catalyst and maybe Severed at Chase Lounge.
Yeah, Chase Lounge, a little bar. The dance floor was modeled after somebody's living room.
And that's the day that he actually went to the hospital for for breaking the wall or like getting thrown into the wall.
My head went into the wall, and then I broke my leg on my own PA system.
And at that time, I was actually in a cast. So I played like a few songs with my band in a cast from dancing and just broke my wrist. And it was a pretty interesting night.
Blood and lots of it.
Sweat and tears. I mean, anything you can imagine from your basic, just adding math to getting out here and talking to people and just making sure that these guys are going to get hooked up and get everything that they need, if it's their money and a few beers or whatever you really have to do, man.
Yeah, we try to keep like our method of operations when we put on the shows, because a lot of the younger kids that we get coming out to our shows, because we're able to do all ages, like, you know, 12, 13, 14-year-old kids, they're telling me it's only like the 2nd or 3rd show, and to me that's horrible, because I was like 13, 14, like going to shows 2, 3 times, 4 times a week sometimes, you know. And we try to keep into mind, like, you know, cost. Like, we do $10 shows most of the time. We do matinees, which is another thing that's dying out. Like, and all of this is in Brooklyn. So Brooklyn is lacking in all of these areas, and all it takes is for one person to start it off. Like, you know, and that could be the catalyst. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, the main goal that I think is just to get younger adults into this and free their minds so much of what they're seeing on TV and actually just maybe live it. I mean, I know it may cost a little bit of money, but if you're ever going to come up to me or Alex and say, listen, we don't have enough money, man, I've never seen this show and I really want to be part of this, we're not going to say no, you know what I mean? We're going to find a way for these kids to get in there and have a good time and sort of remove the bad name that this thing has taken on, that it's a bad thing, and it's not. It's turned people's lives around. I've seen it happen, and it still happens every day.
Yeah.
So that remains the main goal for me.
Luck, and we have a sweet deal, so that's pretty much it. It has a lot to do with the matinee thing, though. Like, early Sundays, like, you know, we end 10:30 Sunday night, so it's acceptable in the eyes of the community and the law.
Fortunately, the Southpaw Club is cool enough that, you know, they'll allow those younger kids to come in during the day and check it out, you know, even though other people are drinking, but it's just so controlled and supervised that it's the way it should be.
Yeah. When I first started, I was working for bands, and I was pretty much at shows all the time, and, you know, you see what goes on, you see what goes into putting on a show, and when you first start doing it, like the first couple shows, it was just like all crash course, learn by example. And the most important part is if you sit there like after your first show and you ask yourself, well, what did I learn from this? Where did I go wrong? What did I do good? And to try to correct that mistake, or try to correct those few mistakes, or like, you know, you see your friends putting on a show too, and you see the mistakes that he makes. So it's really like a big learning experience. It's good. It's good that, like, you know, some kid somewhere might get that spark in his head that he can go home and be like, you know, well, if these dudes are doing it, why can't I be doing it? Which is essentially like where we came from when we started. It's been a couple memorial.
I mean, we did Dying Fetus and Sworn Enemy. That was pretty up there. And recently, the last Sworn Enemy show was really good too. So, I mean, it's been growing. So we're definitely building more people every time. But I would say, yeah, probably both of the shows with Sworn Enemy were like my favorites and stuff like that.
It's good. There's some smaller shows where, like, you know, things got a little out of hand.
Yeah, just
in
crazy,
a fun kind of way.
I mean, we also did like a rave night, which was like a total eye opener as a production company with bands and DJs. It was just crazy.
That has a lot to do with, like, the term that goes around a lot, and it was one of the first things I was told, is you need to be seen to be seen. So you actually have to, like, just go out and do what we're doing now. You know, support each other, show the other people involved in this that you really are there for them. That, you know, you're not just gonna hang around a couple months and then you go back to college or you go this and, like, you know, it just becomes another chapter in your life. You know, like, a lot of us really are gonna be here for the rest of our lives doing the same thing over and over and over again, because that's what we want. This is what we like. This is our life. And you just gotta stick it out. You just have to stay there, be cool, hang out, go to shows, be a decent person. That's really what it's all about.
So,
yeah, Eyes of Death. Eyes of Hate, yeah.
Eyes of Hate and Agnostic Front and
Warzone, Eyes of Hate, Agnostic Front,
Murphy's Law, Sick of It All, Cro-Mags,
Marauder, original
Marauder,
All Out fucking war, dude.
Yeah, All Out War would be really nice, and Billy Club is always remarkably great.
Boom, that's
maybe someone old like Iron Cross or something cool like that.
Yeah, dude.
That would be big. There's just so many names out there, man. But anything off those names would be amazing. Madball, of course, too.
Candiria, dude.
Yeah, that's
Candiria.
We just saw E-Town, so if we put E-Town on there for a new one, would be nice too.
Yeah. And Metal.
Oh man, Metal. Cannibal Corpse, Deicide, Morbid Angel Slayer, Pantera.
Necrophagus, dude.
Necrophagus, Dying Fetus, Internal Bleeding if they were still around. Suffocation. Yeah, new band, Waking the Cadaver.
Cool guys, cool guys. Yo, GC, what's up?
Yeah, I mean, anyone off that list is amazing, so why not?
I would give to the kids is don't take shit at face value. Don't just look at something and be like, that looks cool, I think I want to do that, and start emulating that style. It's not about what you look like. It's not about what everybody else is trying to do. Because honestly, like, most of the time, the kids that look like me these days, like, you know, the fit hat, the pins, the belts, the shoes, the boots, like, you know, they just aren't into what we're into. It's a complete clash of and a mix of cultures and styles. My advice to the kids is just do what you want to do and be yourself. And it doesn't matter what happens in your life, because if that's what you want to do, you can't fail.
I would say stay in school, stay away from any hard drugs, and this isn't about being a tough guy. This is just about, you know, being with your friends and having some good fun. So don't materialize it and just make it into something that's worth nothing. Come out and have a good time, and if someone needs 50 cents or $1, give it to them and you know, put them on the right track. And if you see someone's down, take the step up and help them.
Pick them up.
Because if you just let them fall, then who knows where that rock bottom's going to end. And if you see someone starting to slip on a drug problem, stop in and say something, because you never know what's going to happen to that person.
True.
And come out to more shows and enjoy living life one day at a time.
Can I have one last thing? Yo, this all goes at the TLF. Rest in peace, brother.